Hey there, Christchurch family. I've got some news to share with you. With the governor's new executive order, and more importantly, with the rise of COVID-19 cases in our area, we're going to be looking at some changes in our weekly worship schedule beginning this weekend. So in the short term, for this coming Sunday, November 22nd, the worship schedule itself will remain the same. We're going to have worship in the churchyard at 9 and at noon, and worship online at 10 with Zoom coffee hour right following it. But we're not going to be having Eucharist that was originally scheduled this weekend. And also, and perhaps most importantly, we're going to be capping the attendance of each service at 25 people. If you've been sick recently, or you've been around someone who's been sick, please stay at home. If you are traveling in the next week, stay at home. If you spend time with a vulnerable person, or if you spend a lot of time around large groups of people for one reason or another, please stay at home. And of course, by stay at home, I mean join us for worship and coffee hour online at 10 a.m. Come be with the community in that way. Now for next Sunday, Advent 1, the staff and the Liturgy Guild are figuring out a plan. We don't have one quite yet. I'll put it out, our new plan, in all of the regular channels early next week. The plan is going to include thinking through distributions of our exciting new Advent at Home bags that I know many of you have signed up for. If you haven't yet, do sign up for one. It's going to be a great way for us to stay connected, even when we're apart. It'll also include figuring out the possibility of the gift shop mini Christmas pop-up shop that we had announced. So stay tuned on that. I'll have more information beginning of next week. If we've learned anything in the last 8 months, it is that this virus and its effects on the larger community are ever changing, and they can be devastating if they are not attended to. In addition to the governor's executive order and the rising numbers here in Northern Virginia, our Christchurch family has more cases of COVID in this month than we have had in the previous 7 months combined. Now, we're lucky. All of our friends at Christchurch who have had a COVID diagnosis have recovered or are recovering. So we remain in good shape and in good stead in that way, as we know that is not true for people around our country and even around our city. Our shifting worship practices are not just about protocol or even science or executive orders. We're shifting our worship practices because we care about our community and about our families and about ourselves. After all, God calls us to love our neighbors. This is how we do it in these strange days. Now, if we've learned anything else in the last 8 months, is that we here at Christchurch can pivot like the very best ballroom dancer. This is another tough moment in a string of tough moments. It's another loss in a cornucopia of losses. But it's also another opportunity to lean more deeply, not just into the rote traditions, the things that we do year after year, but into the meaning of the season that we have ahead of us. Our Christmas service schedule, so carefully planned back in October by our worship staff, has been scrapped. But we'll take a deep breath. And we will bring something new and creative and safe that will help us celebrate the incarnation, Emmanuel, God with us. Because God is indeed with us, and has been, and will continue to be. Wear your mask, my friends. Stay 6 feet apart and love one another from afar. Keep the faith. I'll see you in church.